Hello, my friends, and welcome to this edition of the Rudcast. I pay $10,000 per episode for the rights to that music. It was written by Mariah Carey, so hope you enjoyed it. Today we have another reader question. This one is from Nicole Roberts, who just illustrated a children's book that looks absolutely wonderful. So quick plug for her before we get into it. It's called Will Santa Stop Here? A Quarantine Christmas Carol. Absolutely love it. Came out about a week ago and seems to be doing quite well. Got 16 reviews already. And Nicole illustrated that. Her illustrations look wonderful, so definitely check that out on Amazon. Will Santa Stop Here? You can type the author's name in, which is Christy Garnhart, Garnhart, or Nicole's name, Nicole Roberts. All right, so on to Nicole's question. We were having a brief email conversation, and she said, "Thanks for the note. I'm so excited to finish the book." This was, I guess, before she finished it. But now I know I got to get the word out fast. Any thoughts on this? Concept won't be as valuable after Christmas, so I have a quick shot, but at least it will motivate me to move things. Thanks for your bits of guidance. You're very welcome, Nicole. I can't say you weren't part of opening the window of possibility of doing this project, so thanks. And also for your thoughts on pricing. So you're very welcome, Nicole. And if anyone else needs help like this, just shoot me an email, rud@plat.pub, rud@plat.pub. Now for her question. How do I get the word out fast for a timely topic like this? There are a few ways you can do this. In general, my book marketing advice is more long-term. If you listen to my episode on Ryan Atkins' question, I think the two most important things long-term are, one, building your own platform, and two, making sure the book is very word-of-mouth friendly. However, that doesn't mean there's nothing you can do to get the word out fast. The easiest way, of course, is to just throw a bunch of money in advertising, but as I've discussed before, the only real advertising that tends to be positive ROI, at least worth your time. You can do Facebook and Instagram ads. There are people who can help you do that. It's a very steep learning curve, and I wouldn't recommend it for most people. You're probably going to lose money before you're profitable. It depends on your book. You probably want to hire someone to do it for you, and then you need enough of a budget for that, and it's kind of just a pain in the ass. So Amazon ads can be good. Definitely worth looking into. They tend to be easier than most other platforms, but still the numbers are relatively small. So in terms of getting the word out fast, two things. Number one would be the simple one that I talk about all the time, which is giveaways or partnerships. So do some sort of promotion around the book for whatever event you're talking about. So for Nicole, this would be, you can do a Christmas giveaway, you could do a Christmas discount, you could do giving away bonuses that are related to Christmas. You could, I would assume this book would be a very good gift for people. Get creative with this. Find people who do Christmas giveaways, Christmas promotions. You could search Instagram, Facebook, Google for things like Black Friday promotions, because if someone has done Black Friday promotions, they'll probably do Christmas promotions. Look for, again, just influencers in your audience. So for Nicole, this is probably parents. I would imagine mostly mothers are the ones buying Christmas gifts for young children. Search for mommy bloggers who have done children's books giveaways in the past. Just Google these sort of things. Instagram search, Twitter search, stuff like that. Pinterest could be very good for picture-based things like a book. And basically just reach out to these people, see if they'd be interested in doing a giveaway or a heavily discounted promotion based on what makes sense to you. And quick note on giveaways, a common objection is, I don't want to give away books because I'm giving away sales, but you're really not. One, I would recommend giving away some paperback books, especially to influencers, just so they can hold it in their hands and it stands out. But for their audiences, you can just give away Kindle edition, PDF, EPUB, whatever, stuff like that. So that's number one, which would just be promotions, giveaways, and partnerships that are related to the timely event that you're talking about. Christmas for Nicole. You can incentivize people to subscribe to your giveaway or to buy your discounted book in many ways. You can also not discount it, but just add a ton of bonuses. So For a Christmas gift thing, it could be give away multiple books. It could be give away products or services related to Christmas, a gift card. You could partner with someone else who has a children's book and offer some sort of package. You could offer a prize to one or two people. You could offer gifts to people who buy multiple books. Just get creative with what would be valuable to your audience and what can you either give away or offer for a fair price that your audience would value. So sounds super simple, but it really is that simple. Just find your audience, find people who have access to that audience, and make it really attractive for them to either buy or for them to download for free so that they can then spread the word so you can get more reviews, more credibility, so you can rise in the Amazon rankings and things like that. Number 2 would be newsjacking. I'm not sure if all of you have heard this term, but essentially it can be manipulative. It can also be genuine depending on your topic and how you do it, but basically taking an existing headline or topic in the news and capitalizing on it. So in Nicole's case, I would search the news for Christmas-related news. There could be something interesting going on, let's say with a company that messed up, that had some sort of blunder, or the other way around, a company that's doing some really cool initiative, and seeing if you can piggyback off of that existing headline, creating a narrative that's related to your book, but not directly, so it doesn't seem like you're shamelessly promoting your book. Then finding journalists, influencers that are talking about that, reaching out to them, and ideally getting them to cover this story related to your book in which your book will be plugged, or perhaps you will be plugged. People will, click on your website, your Instagram, or whatever, and see the book. For Nicole's book, there could also be a lot of potential with the quarantine angle. So I would search bloggers and influencers who have written about quarantine, things to do in quarantine with your children, quarantine gifts, quarantine Thanksgiving gifts, just every iteration of something similar to this that's happened in the past. Find people who have covered it, find Instagram people who have done giveaways, promotions. Just search all these keywords related to it. Search, quarantine giveaway, quarantine gift guide, things like that. Reach out to these people, pitch yourself as adding value to them. You're giving them some sort of special offer, whether that's a discount, a giveaway, a bonus, or even just a very casual, I think your readers would like this, here's a free copy for you. Could be a paperback if this person is worth the money. If they're particularly influential, it's a good way of doing it. A PDF if you want to be quicker and do it for free, of course. So this will be a bit tough to get done in a couple weeks for Nicole, but it's doable if you send, let's say, in a perfect world, I'd say honestly about 50 plus messages to people. You can hope for maybe 3 to 5 people to actually come through. Those are just ballpark numbers, but if you get started this week, it's the week of the 7th, you definitely have potential to get a few partnerships for Christmas or a few features in some sort of news. Back to newsjacking. So to give a concrete example of this, my client Trevor Krause, who many of you have heard of if you followed me for a while, he wrote this book called Ticket Lists. Definitely check it out if you haven't. And it's about him sneaking into the Super Bowl, the World Series, the Masters, Wimbledon, basically every sporting event ever, 37 of them if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Great book. Clearly, there are a lot of timely events related to that. So when Wimbledon's coming up, we can create an angle around Wimbledon to get Trevor attention so that people then funnel that attention into his book, etc. So what we did was, he's a huge St. Louis Cardinals fan. And the Cardinals were, I think, fighting for a playoff spot or something. It was the end of the season last year. And we wanted to get him some fast attention like Nicole wants and like most people want. So we created a YouTube video of him sneaking in to Busch Stadium, which is the St. Louis Cardinals stadium. He wasn't directly selling the book. However, he was selling the idea around the book, which is I can sneak in anywhere. And the video is basically saying, here's how. So by capitalizing on all the people that are already writing about St. Louis Cardinals and baseball and the end of the baseball season, we can insert ourselves into the existing narrative by saying, hey, you're already talking about this. Here's a related angle. This dude just snuck in. And We also had him have a copy of his book in his hand and added into the narrative. Not only is he sneaking in, but he's actually sneaking in to give this book to his childhood hero, who was this longtime St. Louis Cardinals journalist. There's a bit of shameless self-promotion in there, but it was genuine because it truly is his hero. He explains it briefly into the camera, and it's very, very simple. Once you make a good video, once you've done a good job of relating it to an existing topic in the news, all you need to do is get it in front of people. So for this example, all we had to do was put it on Twitter, and more importantly, put it on Reddit. So if you don't know much about how the news works, most bloggers are checking Reddit and Twitter pretty much all day, every day for newsworthy things to write. Bloggers typically have to write 5 or 6 articles per day, so they're just constantly scouring the internet for mildly interesting stories. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be that interesting, but our video is good. And within, I want to say like 10 minutes, someone from Barstool Sports, which is one of the most famous and popular sports blogs in the country and in the world pretty much, I would argue probably has the most engaged following of any sports blog in the US at the very least, and potentially the world, reached out to him and covered the story. You can search Barstool Sports Trevor Krause. They covered it almost immediately. And basically how this works is once one big outlet covers things, then typically all the other ones pick up on it because they all copy each other. And it's kind of upsetting that this is how things work, but it just truly is. So that would be my second thing, is try to come up with some sort of headline. Think in headlines. Think of what's an interesting headline that's related to your book that isn't directly selling it. So we didn't make a video. I wrote a memoir about how I snuck into sporting events. We made it a video that was, here's me sneaking into Busch Stadium. Once someone has watched the video, they're going to Google his name. They're going to see that he has a copy of his book in the video, but it's not explicitly sold, so people don't feel like they're getting scammed or anything. It's a genuine video. The video stands on its own and then just directs you to want to buy it. And that's pretty much it. Aren't that many things you can do to get short attention besides newsjacking and partnerships, but you don't need anything else. People like to overcomplicate this, and it goes back to what I said in the last episode about Ryan, where until you've given your book away to, I would say, 500 to 1,000 people, if you've given your book away to 500 to 1,000 people, if it's word of mouth friendly enough, it will spread on its own. If it doesn't spread on its own, you should go back and evaluate, why is this book not spreading on its own? And if you're at that point where you just want my feedback on it, I highly recommend you reach out to me via email. My email is rud@plat.pub, rud@plat.pub. Reach out to me. I have a coaching program that directly addresses this. Is your book word of mouth friendly enough? Do you have some sort of attractive offer around the book so you can profit for every reader that you get, not just $5, but potentially hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of dollars for those people? Because the attention that you get for your book should not go to waste. If you have any sort of financial goals for your book, you should be selling something around it. You should be selling multiple books. You should be selling a course, coaching, whatever makes sense for you, for your audience, whatever can make an impact and make you money. So if you're interested at all, I start every arrangement with a very casual phone call or email conversation. So just shoot me an email. I will be making things a lot more exclusive in 2021, so I recommend you get in while you can. I will be having higher prices and probably a waiting list pretty soon, so definitely reach out now. Love connecting with all you guys and gals and everything in between, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for listening, and thank you for bearing with me as I learn how to podcast. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just trying to help. And to me, that's all that matters. So hopefully you can get past the stutters and the awkwardness and the slowness. But I'm here to help. So reach out anytime and take care, my friends.